Hold it.
Before building the bookcase.
And done. Whew. You can let go.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Potential savings vary. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
What does it mean to begin? Creation Story explores Native origin stories through powerful contemporary art, connecting past and present with every brushstroke in sculpture. Explore how identity, culture, and resilience are shaped through art. Creation Story, now at All My Relations Arts through July 26th. This exhibition invites you to the heart of the Ochate-Shikoin storytelling, where spiritual relatives guide the way. Open to all. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Experience the beginning. Experience Creation Story at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis.
Rudy Luther Toyota is the dealer you can trust. Go to rudyluthertoyota.com to browse their inventory of new and certified pre-owned vehicles. Style, performance, and reliability. You can find it all at Rudy Luther. With every new and certified pre-owned vehicle, you'll get a Luther Advantage card. Save 10 cents per gallon at the pump and get $6 Works car washes at Holiday Station stores. That's right. You can get a great vehicle and help stretch your budget even further. Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms with a low of 68, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 84. Cafe Latte is unlike any restaurant you've ever experienced. Grab a tray and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Cafe Latte, Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul, or cafelatte.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous. Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Cody Cup, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Wendy, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Yes, they do. Hey, Wendy, a long weekend. I need a vacation from vacation.
Yeah, it was a long weekend. We did celebrate the 4th of July, but honestly, I wasn't feeling very patriotic.
Right.
The whole weekend, but I was celebrating us and our family being together, and that, we're all healthy, we're all safe, everybody's doing well. So, just kind of hoping, wishing that everybody is doing well, who we love and who we care for, our friends and family. So that's kind of what I was celebrating anyway. It wasn't celebrating Independence Day because I really feel like we're losing our independence.
Right, exactly. Hey, our friends from Tawahi Foundation put up celebrating Indigenous resiliency since 1491. I can really buy into that. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I was really into July 4th when I was young because I was in parades and marching and playing my bugle and doing all those things. But things really change, and it's sad but true.
Yeah. What about that 4th of July parade? I can't remember what state it was. Was it Missouri?
No, Nebraska. I know what you're going to talk
Nebraska. Yes. I was really, it was all over the internet.
Yeah.
It was Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yes. They had if anybody has watched The Handmaid's Tale on, I think it's on Netflix, the women in their white robes with their white hats and, a whole bunch of them. It was really unbelievable to see that. And really, it's sad that, that has to be part of our parade in this day and age, but it really does, since we are losing our liberties and our freedoms, and certain people who are marginalized, like Native American people, LGBTQ people who are not white, people with brown skin. It's a little scary out there for me.
It's really
to tell you
scary.
the truth. Yeah.
That's a good point. Hey, over the weekend or 2 days ago, reported by many outlets, but I'm going to quote from Lakota Law on Instagram. Earlier today, which was yesterday, conservative media pundit Ann Coulter posted, "We didn't kill enough Indians," and she posted that on X. The comment was a response to the University of Minnesota professor Melanie Yazzi's comment of decolonizing and how it may help save the planet. Well, Wendy, we talk about that every day here.
Yeah, exactly. That's really, I have to say, it's really kind of nervy of her to say that out loud, but that's what people do now.
Well, exactly. And it's crazy. One of the chiefs of the Cherokee Nation said Coulter's statement on its face is a despicable rhetorical shot trained on First Peoples of this continent designed to dehumanize and diminish us and our ancestors and put us at the risk of further injury.
Yeah.
It's what's being said out there now. It's definitely a thing. It's, during the Orange One's first round, it was like, I talk about this all the time, but it was like, let's make racists afraid again. But that isn't what's going on. It's the opposite. And we see that where they're putting up that penitentiary in Florida in between called
Alligator
Alcatraz.
Yeah.
And it's right in between two tribes, the land right down there. There's no plumbing where they're building this. And they're spending all this money, Wendy, that could be spent on all these cuts that they've made, like in healthcare. It's amazing.
Or children's school lunches.
Right.
Yeah. So they're making fun of, so let the gators eat the people who are in these places. They'll be trapped there with no air conditioning, and they'll be kept like animals in deplorable conditions. And, it's floods there. It's where hurricanes happen, where, I could just imagine a natural disaster, a hurricane coming through there, the place flooding, and them not evacuating people.
Yeah.
Like, I could see that happening. Like, they are so... It is just so, I can't even put it into words.
Well, it's amazing.
It's inhumane.
Well, and again,
inhumane.
we should talk a little bit more, and we'll have Dr. Statley on too.
Yeah.
But one of the things, 813 billionaires would like to thank the 340 million Americans for picking up their tab.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Mhm.
That was posted by People's Unity Project, and
Yeah.
I love how the whole world is calling the United States a fascist party.
Mhm.
And one of the things too we heard this weekend, which would be great, is now the Democrats are talking about Project 2026,
Mhm.
and they need to do something. We elected them, and we're seeing like things aren't happening,
Mhm.
and hopefully they are in the background. But right now, we're not counting on that.
No, I know. We can't. We just have to keep saying what we want to say. Hopefully people will keep listening. Hopefully people who are on the fence about how they feel will come over on our side. But you sent me that thing about the psychologist
Mhm.
who was really looking at the psychology of supporters of this administration
Mhm.
and how embedded it is for them to continue to believe, even though they may not, because they would be shamed, right? They would lose face. And they have to keep believing all this AI generated false rhetoric that they see on social media that's fake, and they really do believe it. I know a couple of people personally who post these artificial intelligence images, absolutely fake news. They don't even bother to check it. They believe it, and on their Facebook posts and on their social media posts, they'll put, "This is the truth," and they truly believe it.
Yeah.
It's a cult. It's brainwashing. It's just really scary for me anyway.
Yeah.
It's really weighing on my soul.
Well, that big, beautiful, crappy bill is spread out for a few years too, so people don't feel the pain right away.
Yeah.
I like the Republicans are being referred to as American Fascist Party by the media abroad, and I guess we'll be calling them that as well from now on.
Well, I heard Amy Klobuchar on the radio saying that, this big, beautiful bill with all these Medicaid cuts and school lunch cuts and all these cuts, it's not going to happen until after the primary,
Right.
November 2026, so that people don't remember. People have short memories.
Definitely.
Short memories. And when November 2026 comes along and we have 33 Senate seats and all 435 seats in the House of Representatives are up for election, people are going to forget. And we have to keep remembering. We have to keep helping them remember what is going to happen to them.
Hey, Native Roots Radio will be right back. Wendy and I, along with Dr. Statley.
Stay with us.
Minnesotans age 65 plus might qualify for Health Partners Minnesota Senior Health Options. The easy all-in-one plan includes personal support, coverage for medical, prescription drugs, and dental, plus many extra benefits. Eligibility information is available at healthpartners.com/oneplan. Health Partners is a health plan that contracts with both Medicare and the Minnesota Medical Assistance Medicaid program to provide benefits of both programs to enrollees. Enrollment in Health Partners depends on contract renewal.
Four Sisters Farmers Market is more than a place to shop for delicious organic food. It's a celebration of Indigenous culture, food sovereignty, and community. Now in its 11th season, the market offers healthy, affordable, culturally appropriate local foods every Thursday from 11 to 3. Located on the American Indian Cultural Corridor off Franklin Avenue, Four Sisters Farmers Market is a project of NACC. Every Thursday now through October, discover more about Four Sisters Farmers Market by visiting nacc.org.
Rudy Luther Toyota has a great way for you to purchase your next vehicle. It's the Toyota Smart Path. You can shop at the dealership or on your couch. Shop smarter by saving time, and remember, they'll have the best prices and no surprises. You can browse the available vehicles, use the Smart Path payment estimator to customize your own payments, apply for financing, and then finalize your purchase. Smart Path is the smartest path to your new vehicle. Check it out online at rudyluthertoyota.com or stop by Rudy Luther Toyota, 5 miles west of Minneapolis on 394.
Your heart beats for generations. Take care of it.
There's a lot that we can do to take care of ourselves. And so I think it's important to take the smaller steps and break it down into more manageable pieces, because the little steps leads to big changes.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. For Indigenous women, taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Let's protect that story. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minneapolis, what am I want to say? The Native American Community Development Institute, or use the acronym NACC in Minneapolis. I'm a little rusty this morning. Woo!
It's not this morning, Wendy.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, welcome.
I just woke up from a nap.
It's like this morning, though. Oh, hey, we have our friend Dr. Statley with us. I really appreciate you stopping by. A lot going on. Good to see you as always.
You as well. How are you? It's good to see you, Wendy. I haven't seen you in a really long time.
Yeah, good to see you too, Dr. Statley.
Yeah, we were just talking about Ann Coulter and her saying that we should have killed off more Indians, and we had a whole segment that we just talked a little bit about that. Do you have any thoughts on this Fox News person?
Well, I don't know. If Ann Coulter had some wagons, I might have some suggestions.
Oh, yes. That's the old, I think we were trying to start a business called Wagon Burners, but I was told to settle down a little bit. Oh, wow.
This is not the time to settle down.
That's
this is
true.
The time to gear up.
Down. Yeah.
You go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know. I probably shouldn't say anything because I don't have anything kind to say. So
yeah, there you go. Taking the high road. Really appreciate that. But it's not good radio.
Well, I think she lacks intelligence, right? And she doesn't just lack actual intelligence, like the intellectual sort of meaning all pistons firing. She lacks emotional intelligence, which is, evident in practically all of her interviews. But I also think the other piece to that is that, yeah, she's racist. So I don't know what else to say about that. So,
right.
It's like, she, every time she opens her mouth, she indicts herself. So I think, that's just my thoughts on it. I really actually didn't have a lot to say about her. That's kind. So I just don't want to.
Yeah, that's good. You have a lot more class than I do. That's
yeah,
for sure.
Like Mom used to say, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it. That's what my mother used to say. I'm kind of done with that. But go ahead.
I didn't see her rant or whatever it was on, and I put her and what is her, Marjorie Taylor Greene and all those other people. I put them all into the same category of women who yell a lot and pound their fists and scream and draw attention to themselves, but don't really have a tremendous amount of intellectual or logical sort of argument behind their. There's no foundation behind what they're doing, right? They're like what the president is. Well, I mean, and arguably the president could be considered like, unintelligent or really, really sneaky.
Yeah.
Or he's intelligent and he's evil. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can describe it. But the thing is that those two women and other women who I could also name, like Carrie Lake and a few other people, they don't have a lot of like foundation to lay their claims on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they whip up and they make things really dramatic. It's like theater. It's just
Yeah.
like it's not even politics; it's theater. So,
Right. Well, and two, the other party, the Republican Party, I should just say, really has no solutions. They just attack people. It's like, not how are we going to solve the border crisis? We're just going to attack the legal aliens. That's their MO.
yeah, and at the same time, they're going to let in all these really poorly treated Afrikaners.
Yeah.
who are also they're immigrants of sorts, I suppose, but they're also very wealthy white people from South America.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing.
South Africa. So I think just the thing is like there's like no logic to their thought process, right? And it's so funny that they're like they're screaming out one side of their mouth about racism and pushing back on DEI and racism, at the same time acting racist, making racist decisions and behaving racist. And it's like, wait, your argument would stand stronger if you actually were behaving like a human being.
Yeah, exactly. It's a hard one. They made criminalize DEI, which stands for diversity, equity, and inclusiveness. What the heck is wrong with that? It's a bad.
Yeah, and there was a day in time not so long ago when equity and inclusion would have included white women of those people, of those caliber, that community. They haven't had their rights all that long either.
No, exactly. And the way this bill's been pushed out, we maybe next segment we can talk a little bit how it's going to affect Native American Community Clinic, because the healthcare is going to be a rough thing here, and thank goodness we have Native American Community Clinic for our community.
Yeah. I have a lot of feelings about that big, beautiful bill, and where I'd like to put that bill. But here's the thing. So it is going to make our work and so many other people who do healthcare and education and a number of other really critical things within our community, it's going to make our work really, really hard. It's going to make it very challenging. It's going to be daunting and soul-sucking in a lot of ways. But here's the thing that I know to be true, that is even truer than and more long-lasting and enduring than Trump's tax cut, so to speak. And what I will mean, when I say that is like, like Indigenous people, we've been through really hard times. We know how to get through hard times, and we're strong. We have tremendous resilience, strength, and endurance. We're perseverers, right? So we'll get through it. It's not that we won't get through it. It will be hard. It will be very, very hard. Think about so many of the things that our ancestors had to go through. So yeah. I don't spend a lot of time worrying about like, are we going to get through this? I'm focused on like, well, how do I navigate this space, and how do I build coalitions and collaborations with people and other people doing similar work to sort of kind of get through this difficult and dark patch we're going to go through, and do as much as I possibly can to make sure that people are still going to be able to get the things that they need so that they can live happier and more stable lives. And that's my job. And so I think about that a lot, and I talk a lot with my staff about it. And we're all, of course, focused on that. And I think the thing is that, we'll outlive this. I know for a fact, well, creator willing, I will outlive that orange creature, and I'll see his thing come crashing down around him at some point in time. And in the meantime, I'm focused on the here and now and what's happening right now and what we need to do to make sure that people are okay now.
Yeah, I appreciate that, because sometimes for me it gets kind of dark, and I get into that place where it's hard for me to see it on the other side. The light at the end of the tunnel's oncoming train instead of something positive. So I appreciate you speaking in such a good way about what we have to do and how we have to stay positive. So hey, I appreciate you coming on and talking about this. And again, I think what's going to be fun in the next segment, Wendy, is that you always say, well, ask Dr. Statley what he wants to talk about. So we're gonna definitely do that on the next segment. We're here with Dr. Statley, Native American Community Clinic CEO and president, and Wendy later on with our sacred animal portion.
Stay with us.
Ho-wah.
When was the last time you had your roof inspected for extreme weather and hail damage? This is Chad, owner of AM 950, to talk about the exterior construction company I trust, Snap Construction. If you've noticed new roofing projects in your neighborhood, your home was likely hit by hail last summer and experienced damage. Snap Construction is helping homeowners like you, and they're the roofing specialists I trust. They are the most well-reviewed contractor in the Twin Cities and have a ton of positive customer reviews from homeowners just like you. Even better, Snap Construction's installations are backed by a lifetime warranty, so you're dealing with a qualified roofing expert. You want to work with a company that will be here for a long time after the work is done. Snap Construction has handled thousands of claims and will help you through the process. Do yourself a favor and get a free roofing inspection so you have the facts and peace of mind you deserve. Call Snap Construction today at 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com. Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. The month of July is National Carpet Cleaning Month, and because of that, Zero Res is offering a purchase of 3 rooms of carpet cleaned. Get 1 room free plus $50 off an air duct cleaning. Maybe you're having a barbecue for the 4th of July. We'll also have Aquatennial coming up in Minneapolis later this month. You want to make sure your home is fresh and clean for your friends and family coming over to celebrate. If your carpet's looking more like a snowbank in late March, muddy, crunchy, and kind of mysterious, it's time to call Zero Res, don't you know? These folks come in with their fancy schmancy ZR water. It's like regular water, but with a master's degree in cleanliness. Zero Res can handle it all. Carpets, tiles, rugs, upholstery, air ducts, basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. So it's time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res today. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResMinnesota.com or call 952-ZERO-RES and ask for the AM 950 special. Backorder forward spells the same. Zero Res.
This is Alex Knorr from Buzzcut Mowing, a young, hardworking entrepreneur serving the Southwest Metro with affordable lawn care. I take the hard work off your plate with weekly mowing. I also offer leaf cleanups, aeration, dethatching, tree trimming, and mulch installation. I'll keep your lawn beautiful so you can enjoy your weekends with the people who matter most. Visit buzzcutmowingmn.com. That's buzzcutmowingmn.com.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromenlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
I'm having a really hard time lately, and I'm worried no one will understand what I'm going through.
I feel so alone. I wish there was somebody I could talk to.
If you're looking for support, Mental Health Minnesota is here for you, with connections to others who have also struggled with their mental health and can provide support and resources. Services are anonymous, confidential, free of charge, and open 7 days a week. Connect today at mentalhealthmn.org or call 855-HERE-FOR-MN today. Sponsored by Mental Health Minnesota, the Minnesota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms with a low of 68, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 84. Cafe Latte is unlike any restaurant you've ever experienced. Grab a tray and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Cafe Latte, Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul, or cafelatte.com. You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, we really appreciate their work and the work they've done for years and years. And I believe they were in the Pride Parade. Yeah, that was awesome.
Great.
That group. And we know all those guys. Hey, we're here with Dr. Statley, CEO of Native American Community Clinic and president of Native American Community Clinic also. And, you know, I think it's fun that we are taking the high road. So, again, Wendy told me during the break, ask Dr. Statley what he wants to talk about. And so I just say, take it away, Dr.
And I
Statley.
said, how nice of him to take the high road. I want to just throw a flamethrower.
Yeah. Wendy wants to burn bridges with a flamethrower, and I support that. Oh, wow.
Well, I mean, it's not that I don't want to do it as well. I was thinking about, like, we have a comment in the public comments about one of our listeners said something about, you know, when her ugly comments and her tactics and her strategies make her want to throw up. And I'm like, well, yeah, it makes me want to slap her, but I'm not going to do that.
Slap her in a good way.
Yeah, like, you know, just to like, you know, shake some sense into her and you make her see the evil, see her ways, right? But
yeah,
I would only be doing it out of the goodness of my heart, and it's a good thing she doesn't live nearby me. So anyway, for me, perhaps, I don't know. I was like, what do I want to talk about? I think, you know, there's a bunch of things I think I want to talk about. One of the things that's just really challenging for me, and you know, some of the craziness that this current administration is doing within, you know, gutting Medicaid, gutting healthcare, the recent decision that RFK made to, remove many of the vaccines that might have thimerosal in them, so that, like, taking them off the vaccine schedule, which means that once you take it off vaccine schedules, insurance companies don't have to reimburse it for anymore. So then what that means is, like, Medicaid and all the other private insurance companies won't pay for vaccines for children and people who want them legitimately. There's, there's a good, I don't know how many people, let's say a third of the nation, or I don't know what the anti-vaccine or vacciner sort of like community looks like, but but a portion of the nation doesn't want vaccines, right? And it's like, well, you shouldn't just decide that it's not important to have and take it off the schedule. And so, like, leaving it to, the other half of the nation, or the other 2/3 of the nation that does want vaccines and does want their children to be protected of these things, and doesn't want them to sort of like, get sick and possibly die from, preventable and communicable diseases that are treatable and such. Like, why would you think that that's an okay thing? Just take it off of, find another way of maintaining people's access to it, while allowing people that don't want to have their children vaccinated able to do that. Like, find another way to do that. Like, make it so that people have choice, right? But also, the thing that's really problematic in this whole discussion around vaccines is that Native people, and this is true for us here in the state of Minnesota, and probably also, I would imagine, likely in many other Native communities across Turtle Island, we have some of the lowest rates of vaccines and immunizations for our children and for our most vulnerable people, which is problematic because this will make it even worse for us. This will make it even harder for us for the people that do want vaccines to get that accomplished, because they're not going to be covered by insurance. And we also have really, really high rates of poverty, and we have really high, already many, many tremendously difficult challenges around accessibility, right? And so and I guess one of the things for me is like, I hope that there's a time when we return to a period in politics where we expect the people who we elect to office to either have a functioning intellectual brain, and if they don't have that the bare minimum, they have people around them as advisors who actually have a functioning brain and who can make good decisions, good sound decisions, not just for the one or two people in their particular district, but people need to recognize when they make these decisions, they're not just impacting the 2 or 3 or 4 people in their own district that might have a thing. They're impacting people across the entire United States. It's like you're representative for your area, but your impact is felt broadly. And your lack of being able to make good, sound decisions based on science, like Robert RFK's decision around some of his vaccine decisions, especially the ones around thimerosal, are like completely flawed. It's like he didn't actually read the research. He just he read like 2 or 3 lines in the abstract and then formed an opinion. And maybe
it's really scary for the nation, honestly. I think we're going to see a lot of kids get sick, and there's going to be outbreaks in areas, and some of these things
and one of
there's no cure for.
Well, no, and they will actually, it'll be really expensive for people who don't, here's the thing, this I will tell you is the thing that really pisses me off. So if we're going to get real, Miss Coulter, the thing that really pisses me off is that, remember back in the pandemic, Trump was downplaying the vaccine, and he was downplaying all this stuff. And yet when he got sick, he got the treatment, right? He got the treatment, he took the treatment, he took the vaccines, he took all the things. And it's like, I love when rich, white, wealthy people, just go after a thing and torpedo it and kill it. And yet they have the resources to pay $1,000 or $100 or $200 or $300 for the vaccines that they might want and that they might need for themselves and or their children or the people that they value. But the rest of the nation who can't afford those things, who don't have resources to pay $1,000 for all of their children to get vaccinated for something that is really important for them to be vaccinated against, that to me is the thing that's unconscionable and pisses me off. So,
Well, didn't RFK
because
admit-
wealthy people will be able to make that choice, right?
yeah, RFK Jr. admitted that all his children were vaccinated.
Yes, he's vaccinated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
And I
know,
guess I don't know,
so-
maybe he's the living evidence that getting vaccinated does mean that you're not less intelligent. I don't know, but I've been vaccinated and I think I could probably stand toe to toe with him in the intelligence ring and win.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh no,
You're much smarter.
please don't insult yourself, Dr. Statley.
Yeah.
Don't insult yourself.
I know. Yeah, I just their big play is a racist play, and I've seen some reports
Well, I
lately.
think and I think what people need to wake up to, and I think this is what people need to get loud about and be angry about and pissed off about and be really upfront about, is that this is not about them. So all the cuts in education, all the cuts in healthcare, all the cuts in all those access, what it means is that Black, brown, and indigenous people and poor white people will suffer tremendously. They'll start to die at much faster rates. Not having them educated means that they won't understand their civil rights. They won't understand the Bill of Rights. They won't understand the importance of the Constitution. They already don't understand how the democratic process works, or how they just, when you make the effort to make people incompetent, unintelligent, if you dummy down the nation specifically, you can control them. Right. And what it is, it's just another way to sort of it's a different form of genocide, quite frankly.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
we talked earlier about Republicans are being referred to as the American Fascist Party by media across the world, and so we're going to start calling them that too.
Yeah. And what's sad is that there's a whole group of people, a very large group of people, who are Republicans who don't agree with the things that are happening, but their voices are silenced as well, right?
Right.
So you got the crazy people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and a few other people who will, Do you remember the thing where she did that whole? I wish I had saved the TikTok because I really love. I would get a chuckle out of it all the time. Remember she was on the house floor and she was wearing a mink jacket and she was
yeah,
screaming and losing her mind. I was like, this is yeah. Which district do you represent again? Do all the people in your district wear minks, or just you?
Right.
Mink coat. It's and the disconnect between their ability to sort of just their ability to have any humanity whatsoever is just heartbreaking. But after I get past the heartbreak, it just infuriates me. And yeah.
Yeah, well, we have a slew of representatives in Minnesota that voted for this big, beautiful bill too, and they should be held accountable too, because it's going to hurt rural areas right away.
Yeah. So when you think about and you look at the state of Minnesota and you see all the blue parts of Minnesota, it's all in the urban areas, right? And all the outstate areas that have a lot of farmland and a lot of rural areas, heavily red, right? And all those places, the safety net places for those folks for healthcare is FQHCs that are and community health centers that are trying to serve their needs and their communities and all their relatives. And those places are going to suffer. They're going to suffer tremendously. They're likely to close, right?
Yeah.
And so when you're sitting in the middle of nowhere in northern Minnesota and you're a Republican and you voted to gut healthcare and you're lying in your bed trying to find someone who can come help you and take care of you as you're dying from something that was communicable and preventable, I hope you think about gosh, I really wish I had thought through that vote differently.
No doubt. Hey, Dr. Statley, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. I know you got to run and pick up the kids, but we really appreciate you stopping in and speaking your truth.
I actually don't have to pick them up. They're 18. They can figure it out.
Hey, well then, maybe we'll keep you another segment then.
Yeah, I'll just eat some popcorn while I wait for you.
Stay with us.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Your heart beats for generations.
Your heart is so many things. It beats all the time, and it works very hard to keep you moving through your day, keeping your thoughts clear. It's the most important organ in your body.
Every beat of your heart tells a story of love, resilience, and hope. Taking care of your heart means creating more moments with the ones you cherish. Learn more at hennepin.us/heart-beats. That's hennepin.us/heart-beats.
I'll never forget. I was driving my Sienna from Rudy Luther Toyota, and I was hit at 35 miles an hour, rear-ended square flush. If not for the structural integrity of my Sienna, I wouldn't be here right now. There's a lot I can say about Rudy Luther Toyota, about their fantastic service department and their great selection, but being able to say your car saved my life is the best endorsement I can make. Toyotas from Rudy Luther Toyota are my highest recommendation. Get one today and tell them me, Matt McNeil, told you to stop on in. Rudy Luther Toyota, 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
What does it mean to begin? Creation Story explores Native origin stories through powerful contemporary art, connecting past and present with every brushstroke in sculpture. Explore how identity, culture, and resilience are shaped through art. Creation Story, now at All My Relations Arts through July 26th. This exhibition invites you to the heart of the Ochate Shikowin storytelling, where spiritual relatives guide the way. Open to all. Learn more at allmyrelationsarts.org. Experience the beginning. Experience Creation Story at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis.
Hi, this is Governor Walz. Thank you for listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
In this portion of the show, we like to bring awareness to our Minnesota wolf population. Say no to the hunt.
Hey, we're here with Dr. Statley, Native American Community Clinic CEO, and our friend. And we were getting a little heavy there, Dr. Statley. Wendy and I were talking during the break, and we appreciate that because it is going to happen, and it is happening. And what does that do for everybody else too? When clinics in rural areas close, it raises everybody's insurance too. So it's just a cyclical kind of thing happening to this whole country, except the 1%, the 813 billionaires that got a tax break.
Is there 813 of them?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I could be crazy. Call me crazy. Other people out there. Maybe Elon Musk and his third party is going to do something to help us.
You're crazy.
Ooh, he's so mad. You know what? You might have a thought there. He's so mad at Trump right now. He might.
Well, hopefully he doesn't get deported before he does this.
Well, and Trump's going to cancel all his contracts now. That's what he said.
Oh, is that what just came out?
That's what he said the other day on Truth Social. Maybe I'll just have Doge take a look at your contracts.
Wow.
These men, really?
Dr. Statley is eating popcorn, Wendy.
He is eating popcorn.
I'm eating grapes.
Grapes.
Oh.
Grapes. Okay.
All right. That's better than popcorn. That's healthy.
Healthier than popcorn.
Healthier. Popcorn's not really unhealthy.
Well, it depends on the
like
kind of butter and lots of salt you put on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Douse it in butter and
I've been eating skinny popcorn, or what's that called? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll eat the skinny pop, but I'll buy like the big family bag and eat the whole thing in one
Yeah, I
sitting.
was gonna say I've been eating skinny popcorn forever, and I'm not losing any weight. I'm not getting any skinny.
I know.
I know. Jeez. And
I
I
just
don't
do
eat
them
it.
for false advertising.
The same thing when you drink smart water. Like,
Oh, it didn't make me smarter. And
Yeah.
the skinny, I don't eat the skinny popcorn, and I'm skinny.
So he thinks he's looking in the skinny mirror. I think.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Happy anniversary, honey.
Yeah, just had our anniversary, it seems like. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's over.
It's 24.
We're going on 25.
It's 20, 24.
We're in our 25th season.
Dr. Stately, it's
all about
24
choices.
years. 24 years, and it feels like 24 minutes underwater. Holy
Well, I was gonna say it's all about choices. If you wanted to be skinny, you could go back to smoking like a chimney again and having all the cigarette butts in your ashtray.
That's
right.
And then she's got to kiss you.
Yeah, she won't.
She might want rather than
when I met her and picked her up at the airport, I did a sharp turn and my ashtray just spilled all over, and I thought it was over then. But she smoked then too.
Did I ever tell you the story about how I quit smoking?
No,
I would love to hear it.
No. So how I quit smoking, it's so funny because I do research in smoking cessation. I have projects in it. Doing all these things, all these strategies to quit smoking. And I always tell my friends and my research projects, I'm like, well, how I quit smoking was none of this worked for me, actually. But I went on a date with this really hot guy that I met when I was living in LA. I met him at a disco, and I had a date with him like a couple days later. And then I showed up for the date at a coffee shop, and I had just been sick. I'd been a little sick for a couple of days, had a cough, so I didn't smoke at all during those days because I thought I just didn't want to smoke. So I show up for coffee, and we're talking, and we're talking about the things that we do and we don't do, and what we like and what we don't like. And he goes, do you smoke? He goes, because I won't date a smoker. Oh. And I was like, me? I don't smoke. No, I don't smoke. I could get away with it because I hadn't smoked for 2 or 3 days because I was sick. He was that hot that I went home and I threw my carton of cigarettes away, and I was like, okay, I'm done smoking.
And that was it? You really stopped?
Yeah, I never smoked again.
Wow. No Nicorette gum, no patches, nothing.
No.
Stop, because you had
all
a hot
about motivation. He was pretty hot, and we didn't stay together for very long. We stayed together for 6 years, then broke up. But I can thank him for not being a smoker. That's what I can thank him.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's a great story.
That is a great story. I used to take off my patch and have a smoke, and then slap that baby right back on my shoulder and really go on to teach high school.
You're one of the few people that I know that is smart enough to take the patch off. I've had people that I know, some of them are relatives, that actually smoke with the patch on and then get so sick they'd be like, I'm so sick. I'm like, yeah, it's because you got like twice the amount of nicotine.
Yeah, nicotine poisoning.
Well, you know how I did it, and I think it's 18 years now, huh, Wendy?
Oh, I don't
somewhere around there.
yeah.
Is that I did when Chantix first came out? I tried it. I was so desperate. I tried to quit smoking so many times.
Well, this is a really important topic, and now that we're going to finish up this episode, I'm going to say this really quickly. Nicotine is being disguised as these, so like, have you and are any of your kids or any of the youth, been doing these things, these Nick bumps, the little things that are like these little pouches of nicotine that you pop in your mouth, put under your tongue. Really powerful, really, really potent nicotine. And they're flavored. They have like peppermint flavor, spearmint flavor, bubblegum flavor, this flavor, that flavor. They got all these you can get them in all kinds of things. It's like crazy making, because it's like, there's the amount of nicotine that's in one of those bump pouches is about 2 or 3 cigarettes or something.
Jeez.
Wow, really?
But here's the thing. So like, they outlawed things like flavored cigarettes, they outlawed flavored vapes and stuff like that for youth. But now these young people are going and buying these, they're called Nick bumps. They're called Nicks.
Wow. Heard of them.
Yeah. And the thing is, in the Great Plains area, so the upper Midwest, like which we're at, we have some of the highest rates of lung cancer from smoking and tobacco related products in our communities. We have we get lung cancer and die from lung cancer at a rate that is significantly higher than the rest of the population. So
Wow.
if you or your relatives are using those products, you might want to really think twice about whether.
So that's a product that's sold at a tobacco store.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's sold also at gas stations and stuff.
And anybody could go in and buy it, like a kid.
No, I think you have to be 21 and over, but I've seen a lot of
Okay.
17 and 18-year-olds with them.
Sure. Yeah, that's crazy. And it's so addicting. Nicotine is so addicting. It's like,
And I'm okay with like threatening my kids if they try it. I'll be like, if you're gonna go ahead and try that, I'll just rip your lungs out right now. I was like,
Yeah.
it'll save me a lot of heartache and a lot of money of spending
Yes.
on healthcare for you.
Oh.
Like, if you want to die, let me help you die rapidly.
Jeez.
Oh my goodness.
I can say these things to my children. They
Yes, should.
Well, Dr. Statley, a big peeny geeky, thank you so much for coming on and speaking your truth and talking about things that really matter to our listeners. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. You guys have a good night. And again, happy anniversary.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Hey, if you're listening to the show, you're part of the resistance from Chief Plenty Coops, the ground in which we stand on. It's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, and vote. We're still here. We are the seventh generation. See you tomorrow.
Your heart beats for